Here we go. Doing this old trick where I'm walking around, getting stuff away from the camera. Wonder what the old NOOSK could be getting right now. Ah, the great outdoors. I think I've got everything I need to get started. Fuck. The hard part. So hopefully, if I get this done in time, this here little message will be dropping on the day that I turn 30. The last time I did something like this was when I turned 28 because I was leaving the 27 Club. I recorded that in my folks' backyard, place where I lived a majority of my life. Now I'm no longer there. Feels appropriate to do something similar now that I'm crossing yet another arbitrary milestone that we set up to make ourselves feel away when things aren't quite what we want them to be. Like, a lot of stuff's the same since that video came out. A lot of stuff is, you know, different. I mean, this is the biggest difference right here. Like, look at this. This is pretty nice. That there was some serendipity. Love shit like that. A lot of the feelings that I'm having are pretty damn similar to what I felt when I made that video, so if you want like a condensed version of what I said, I'll try my best to do that here. These numbers are arbitrary. No one life is exactly the same, and if you're constantly engaging in self-comparisons to other people, you're gonna drive yourself insane, so don't do that. Live day to day and assess whatever progress means anything to you based off of your own circumstances. The likelihood of you being the next Kurt Cobain is... so lower your expectations. Whatever I'm saying to you, I'm also saying to myself. But yeah, now that I've spent 2 years past the threshold of the mythical 27 Club, I can honestly say I'm looking forward to my 30s. I've really looked back at the advancements I've made socially, philosophically, intellectually. I look at that shit as a neo-boomer and I say, pog, hard dub. I love mixing language together that shouldn't be together because it confuses people and it sometimes makes them mad. That's a topic for another video entirely, but I'm gonna continue to do it in this one, so cope. Like, I may not be a father, and I'm skeptical I'll be one even in like the next 4 or 5 years. Friends of mine are considering having kids or already have kids or are preggers. Oh no, my big reveal. That shit, no. It nopes the fuck out of me. Another thing as I approach 30 is I have fully embraced whatever vices appeal to me, full-heartedly. Everyone's got vices. Vices that are bad for you. Vices that, when indulged in too much, can hyper-accelerate your untimely demise. Alcohol, quarter pounders with cheese or without, tobacco. What I'm smoking right now is not tobacco, though. I found a brand of hemp cigs, the CBD part of the plant, as opposed to the THC. It just induces a mellow, with none of the actual high that comes from marijuana. This shit's been legal throughout most of the country for like a while now. That's why it was so easy for me to get, even before Maryland legalized. Speaking of which, look at me. Of course I have. Like, of course. It took me much, much longer than most people I know to try it. Much like with alcohol, I was the last of my friends to like start drinking recreationally, but like fucking turning 30, I look like this. What the fuck do you think? So I feel more than okay indulging in the light beer version of that thing that took way too long to get legalized in my state and is nonetheless criminalized elsewhere, forcing people to spend in my opinion, criminal chunks of their life behind bars for doing something that's not a big fucking deal, compared to other shit that very much is a big fucking deal. A tirade. A confident little take that I fire at you as I approach 30. Not going to live my life ashamed of my little indulgences that I partake in. That's a big part of being an adult. Some people are like, oh, do you have good insurance? Oh, do you have job security? Ish. Yes. So those are the two big things, I think. I think I'm allowed to decide what I do with my own body. Anyway, I really want some of this. I'm also using a tar guard because while these cigs aren't addicting, they are pleasant enough that I could find myself having a few more than I would like. And in those cases, I want the flavor, I want the chill, but I don't necessarily want the tar. So, thanks, Hunter. Even in death, you're still saving lives. Did I botch that? They come in different flavors as well. Cherry, grape, menthol. My first was the cherry. I've come to appreciate no flavor, but if I'm like sharing a few, cherry is a good like buffer if you're not used to just like smoke taste. Another thing about these, I've smoked a handful of like regular tobacco cigarettes, mostly Marlboros. Lucky Strikes, I gotta say, are pretty tasty for whatever reason. I don't know what they put in there. Maybe they use like an ounce more of turtle feces or whatever it is they use to fill pre-rolled cigarettes in the States. But compared to like every other regular cigarette, Lucky Strike, tastiest. The big thing about regular cigs though is I can't inhale. I think I'm just a little bitch in that way. Whenever I try to inhale, it's like trying to swallow sandpaper. Whereas with this, even without the filter attached, it's fine. Now, I'm no scientist, but I think if it's easier to take something into your lungs than something else, it's probably, even if just marginally, comparatively healthier. I don't know. Smoke is smoke. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, it's probably bad to put this inside you. But as long as you're conscious about it, as long as you're taking steps and have accepted the fact that, you know, whatever happens, happens. Fucking whatever, dude. I don't... Anyway, that was a tangent I didn't even plan on going on. I've still got plenty I wanted to talk about. What else about turning 30? Embracing my aesthetics, this ain't becoming Stallone anytime soon. I do occasionally ape the goss, because why wouldn't I? Dude's the fucking goat. But I'm gonna be a waif for the rest of my life, in all likelihood. So, have the long hair, have the flowier clothes. I really like raglans. This here Dr. Dog shirt is the first raglan I ever got. And now it's one of several. Me and my partner wear them, and we feel oh so, like, self-affirmed when we wear them. Because I'm not like a baseball guy. I had a decent pitching arm growing up. That had more to do with playing fetch with dogs than anything else, though. But yeah, I have really long orangutan-like arms, so these kind of cover me better. And the amount of skin that's left over doesn't feel awkward, so yeah, I like these. I'm feeling more and more comfortable dressing however I'm gonna dress. I have different modes. I can turn the switch and embrace a different energy one day and then change to something else in the evening, whether that involves putting my hair up or leaving it down or letting it be frizzy, letting it be chaotic. All of that is my choice, and all of them, depending on, you know, the company I'm around, it feels nice. If you're the kind of person I'll wear my hair down around and wear like a flowy, ambiguous cardigan, that means you're a real one and you make me feel like I can be myself around you. So just throwing that out there. Part of the reason I'm more consciously pursuing that sort of thing is because I'm embracing creatives who more or less rocked that same philosophy, either as artists or writers or even just like, you know, historical figures. Someone I'm gearing up to read is this motherfucker right here, Oscar Wilde. A really interesting guy. I've caught wind of a lot of his isolated takes on things that I find, you know, compelling and interesting, even this far after his death. from what I understand, he's by no means a perfect dude. Made some life choices that I probably wouldn't have. He liked him young. Based on my research, it does encroach on, dude, that puppy's not that up there. Who do you think you are, the recruitment office? But yeah, I read the foreword for this, and I'm really looking forward to, you know, just getting into him, as opposed to just like reading individual quotes and being like, oh, he just like me, for real, you know. I lost it. No, I didn't. Ha. Since that last video where I hinted at what I was reading, I got through George Carlin's biography, followed by Lenny Bruce. Both of those left a major impression on me, because I had always been like a deep admirer of George. Easily one of the most formative people that I was exposed to, along with maybe Jim Henson, George Lucas. And on top of that, I really like his stand-up, and he didn't do anything particularly wee-woo enough for me to have to put like a bajillion asterisks when I say out loud, oh, I like that person's work. You know, he got as old as he did before he died, so like not everything he said necessarily holds up, but I don't know. As far as boomers who spoke truth to power, he has like a comparatively like spotless record, in my opinion. Lenny's interesting because he's credited with pioneering modern stand-up as we know it. It was more about riffing. He infused a lot of his appreciation for jazz and like the seedy underground lifestyle of a lot of entertainers he was around by being a comedian. You really have... I'm sure that's not a gunshot. It's fine. It's just America. Don't catch me slipping though. But yeah, I appreciate Lenny's writing probably more than I do his recorded stand-up, which is enjoyable if you put in the work to just contextualize when and where it was said compared to now. Because it can seem pretty benign and like listless, but what he's doing is like historically important for comedy as we currently know it. But yeah, I read those two. All that's left is Pryor. Like, that's the holy trifecta of contemporary comedy, is Bruce, Carlin, and Pryor. For my money, I think Rich is like the funniest of those three. Like, him at his funniest is probably funnier than what either of the other two could pull off. In terms of content, he sadly was disadvantaged more so than those two for obvious reasons. But on top of that, he got pretty sick towards the end of his life, so he wasn't able to really dive into the true darkness of what he was getting at, like George eventually was able to. George is the GOAT between the three of them solely because he was around long enough to do it, but Rich nonetheless, even today, has a perspective on life and social structures that the other two just couldn't have possibly had. Lenny was Jewish, Lenny was sickly, Lenny served in the military, including during World War II, meaning he earned his right to question like the sex stuff and the drug stuff and the censorship stuff and yes, the jingoistic stuff, which Carlin would expand upon as well. But Rich was an impoverished black kid, grew up in a brothel. His mom was a sex worker. And Rich also notoriously got around, played for both teams. Oh my God, like comics of a certain persuasion and community love making a mountain out of that fucking molehill, dude. It's really fucking funny. Grown men, hard men, reduced to near tears because he might have diddled Brando. Who gives a fuck? Dude made seismic shifts in culture. You get broken up. You have to like reassess your relationship with him as a hero because he liked a little dick here and there. Knock it off. What are you holding on to? Nothing good. Take it from me. Again, I thought I was going to be the next Sly when I was in middle school. Now I've embraced the fact that that's never going to fucking happen, and that's okay. Because I like what I like, people like what they like. Love is boundless if you let it be. Quit trying to ball so hard that you deny yourself true unabashed, godly happiness. It would be really funny if I lit my hair on fire after that. But yeah, I'm gonna read Rich's bio. I'm looking forward to that one the most, I think. Oh, also, the foreword for that is written by Tig Notaro, an icon in her own sphere, who nonetheless is not so much of a snowflake that she won't pay respects to, you know, one of the big ones. But yeah, since then, I've mostly been reading essays. I've been reading a bit more Susan Sontag. When I started her book, it was a little drier than I expected, so I had to take a break from it. One thing that I've been consistently reading, even if it is off and on, is Emma Goldman's stuff. Really based chick. Made huge monumental moves for women's liberation beyond just like, hey, we can have jobs too. Neat. She really chews on the issue of her time and our time, like, really fucking well. And she was a badass, you know? She would be in the streets, like, shouting as loud as she could to get the decency beyond what they can pull, you know, beyond what capital they can build. Really cool lady. Look, Mommy! There's an airplane up in the sky! I'm halfway through a piece that she wrote on Mary Wollstonecraft. I'm not even gonna bother seeing if I had said that right. That was a distant relative of hers, like, spiritually and think-wise, who grew into her own when women were more oppressed than they already were at the time of, you know, Emma's life. And that is a compelling piece. I had never heard of the woman before. I'm exclusively finding out about her through her eyes, and the fact that someone who is that badass speaks so highly of, you know, this other person speaks volumes. And it's making me appreciate and acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of cool stuff that's happened as far as humanity goes that just doesn't go taught because it's not as marketable, it's not as cool. Can't put a big fucking X on it. I want these last few puffs. I want that flavor. I want to taste it. Nice. Now I'm gonna enjoy my coffee. Yeah, if you're curious about hemp, I recommend American Shaman, by the way. Some people have said that they were able to quit like regular smoking by using that as a bridge. Not an endorsement. I'd snatch up that product deal like that if I could, but it's probably not gonna happen. But yeah, Oscar, Emma, great old bats who are informing where I'm leaning right now. So speaking of Goss, who we talked about like a fucking hour ago, I saw Barbie. It was really good. Not perfect. It had some annoying moments in it that had more to do with writing and structure than like the core message. The core message, bullseye. And I, as a man, in the few times where I was miffed, I was able to like calm down enough to just say straight up, yeah, I deserve that. We all deserve that. It does this really cool thing where it takes this really tired trope of, oh, thing you know, product, old time nostalgia in real world, chipmunk, it sing, but like it just totally phones it in most of the time because it trusts the fact that audiences have seen enough of those movies to be like, who fucking cares? Oh, real world. Oh, Barbie land. Like, it does that like a few times, and it's really funny. Overall, it was pretty much everything I wanted out of the movie. It tugged at my heartstrings. It made me chew on moments and chapters in my past where I was, you know, even as the nice guy or the little scrawny thing who could never hurt nobody, was making some pretty gross assumptions about, like, you know, friends and family in my life just because they don't got a dingle dang. Like, it's fucked up how deep that rabbit hole goes when you like think back on individual conversations where you were being a conceited prick or assuming they didn't know as much as you because, oh, well, they're cheerleading, Fallout Boy. No, when they're not doing things that you're seeing them do with your own eyes, they're being people. And yeah, they might be interested in things that you're not interested in, and they might not get things that you get, but that extra layer of, oh, bimbos, dames. That shouldn't, like, slight them in a way where, you know, we're some jabroni who lifts good or makes thing good. Like, oh, you give him the benefit of a doubt because boys will be boys. Like, it really, like, I'm turning 30. I'm able to watch shit like that and really chew on what they're selling me. It's not just like a matter of the world shit. No, it isn't. It's a stimulating movie. Go watch it. Even the pitch of it was stimulating enough for me. The cast and the pedigree of the filmmakers was exciting enough for me that I actually wanted to do a podcast leading up to its release. I made a whole, like, curriculum. I divvied out multiple films for specific episodes to talk about, you know, different facets of the industry, different genres, different movements, different trends, leading up to this thing as to excite the aesthete, the cineast hole, and go watch it beyond, you know, Goodfellas picture, 3 for Barbie, please, because Ryan's in it. He sure was in it, and he was self-parody and, like, doing the work, which he always does. Love that fucker. The rest of the cast was also amazing. Definitely the highlight. Like, Margot's phenomenal. Her arc from stereotypical Barbie to what that means for a regular person who wants more. Just brilliant. I also really loved, oh no, my blondest, Kristen, was it Kristen Wiig? Was it Kristen? No, it wasn't Kristen Wiig, it was the other one. Fuck, I'm gonna have to dub this in.
Kate McKinnon.
As Weird Barbie. So fucking funny. Really fucking funny. And hashtag relatable for a lot of people. But Barbie was really good. Just firing from the hip a little bit more. I've been doing the pockets, I've been doing the capsules, I've been doing the shorts because those are logistically the only thing I have time for. They are fun, they're satisfying, I get to finish a thing and put it out there, and people can either agree with me or disagree with me. It stimulates conversation, it pisses the right people off typically. My work season's wrapping up, I'll be able to do stuff like this more often. After that wedding I talked about in my last update, I'm feeling good. I'm tired, I've still got some shit I gotta do as the season's wrapping up, but I'm feeling good. And I can't wait to sink more proper amounts of time into this and making longer stuff again. Case in point, hello. Now, if you wanna celebrate my birthday with me, the fact that I didn't die for 30 years, you can give me a present by checking out some old shit, which I'm gonna recommend for you right now. What I would like to eventually become my signature series is Lords of Lo-Fi. I really like the concept for that. I'm like right on the edge of breaking past what's conventionally known as lo-fi for this generation to really embrace the broader scope of music and how brilliance and inspiration transcends genre and scenes and, you know, style. It's been everywhere, like, the whole time, and that's my favorite part about it. But yeah, Lords of Lo-Fi, I really like those, especially the collaborations with Biodegradable, who I'm hoping to start hooking up with again to, like, get stuff out more consistently and make sure it's still fire visually. Look at the mug on my avatar. I love the fucking Who, and I proved it by doing a mini-series called February, which took up more time than just February because I suck at this. The crown jewel of that one is definitely Unplugged Twilight, where I use a bunch of footage from a modern day Who show that I went to with my partner and made like a little mini doc out of it where I analyzed the song Won't Get Fooled Again specifically. I really like that video, so if you only watch one February vid, that's the one to watch. Think of the Children. This is a more recent one where I was just so fucking fed up with some stuff that was going on and is still going on if you're paying attention. Pearl clutching Karens saying, "Look out for my baby, you're gonna scar and damage my baby," as we live in America, which isn't. Anyone who thinks with more than one brain cell knows that it isn't. It's not fucking hat and flag in the background talking about freedom and junk. Like, I really do hate that shit. It's getting harder and harder for me to mask that shit in the content itself. So that was the first time I just went like all in and just like roasted the shit out of them cats and pointed out the fact that as they're pointing their fingers at this degenerate, disgusting, overly sexualized thing, there's like all kinds of way worse shit happening that they don't even think about, because why the fuck would they? They're not raised to. It's just normal. It's normal to them. Them and their fucking skulls. Oh, I like the Misfits now. That's my update for now. I got into the historically shaky, yet nonetheless fire, boppy, vintagely structured, rockabilly, ghoul, horror Misfits. Oh wow, I've been spilling coffee all over my jeans this whole time. I'm really going unhinged for this one. And finally, where'd it go? Where's my rec that I want to end this on? Oh, if you scroll down on the front page of my channel, there's a series called Pronov. If you like my vibe based off the other stuff, just watch all of Pronov. Not all of it's relevant or applicable anymore because some of the applications that I talk about aren't around anymore, but it'll give you insight into what I wanted this channel to be at first, and in a roundabout sort of way what I'd like to get back to, even if I'm not necessarily making stuff like that anymore. That's all I'll say for now. The takeaway of this ramble is that, boy, can I ramble. Can I get indignant and up my own ass about things I care about, whether it's art or society, man, TM, Joker, Joaquin Phoenix. And I'm looking forward to my 30s. I have friends I really care about, some of whom are younger, and I feel a privilege yet a responsibility to know and help along and guide them through similar waters that I was in throughout my 20s. They know who they are. I won't name drop, but Papa NOOSK loves y'all, and I want to live in a way where, you know, maybe by the time you get to where I am now, it'll be less scary and you'll be less frustrated and less confused, and you'll be able to live a more fulfilling life as opposed to, you know, floating on this ocean of ass that is now time. I love y'all for watching. Even if you think I'm a cringy twink, I still love you. I especially love you if you think I'm a cringy twink and that's why you're watching, because you like it. This was fun to shoot. This was good to shoot. I needed to like actually shoot something for real this time. Be sure to subscribe if this did anything for you.